Hey guys, in this video I'll share with you which are best picture modes to be used and how picture menus look like on Samsung's QD OLEDs for 2023. Specifically, this is a 55-inch S90C. Let's get started. Even though this is Samsung's OLED TV, picture menus and settings are very similar to what we see on Samsung's QLED and UHD TVs. So as always, tip number one is make sure that your TV is in home mode, and to go to that setting, to check that, you can go to home and then scroll to the left to settings and then click all settings, or you can just press settings button on the remote. And here you have this menu with different controls, which by long pressing you can move and put in position you prefer. All settings will be all the way to the right, but once you move it to the position you want and arrange icons as you like, they will stay like that. So let's go to all settings, general and privacy, system manager, and here last option is usage mode. Make sure it is set to home mode. Usually this setting is enabled, but for some reason on the TV that I'm testing it is not available, so I cannot change it here. I tried different options, switched to live TV, switched to different HDMI inputs, powered off and on the TV, but still it's not available. So if you encounter this situation and your TV is set to retail mode, then you will need to reset it, and you do it right here by going to reset button, enter the pin you set on initial installation, and then follow the procedure and then make sure you select home mode for the usage application. So now that we have this adjusted, next tip is to disable intelligent mode and use the best performing and recommended picture modes. Let's go to settings. Here you have intelligent mode icon, which will adjust picture automatically depending on the content, but we do not want that. What we want to do is go to picture mode and select either movie or filmmaker mode. And this applies to SDR, HDR, live TV, movies, TV shows, sports, and so on. People usually ask me if they're watching sports, for example, what kind of picture mode they should use. Everything is created according to same standards. All you need to do is adjust brightness if you prefer brighter picture for sports, for example, but that's it. So as I said, movie or filmmaker mode for everything, and then in case of gaming, you have this icon where you can enable game mode, or you can set it to auto and then TV will automatically engage game mode once that kind of content is detected. So now that we've picked the best performing picture mode, next tip is to adjust light sensor built into the TV, and you do that by going to power and energy settings. Here we have shortcut, but you can also access it by going to all settings, general and privacy, power and energy saving. Here brightness optimization setting will enable light sensor. That light sensor will check how bright or dim the room is and adjust brightness accordingly. But if you want full control of the picture, then disable it and go to picture menu, and here under expert settings, adjust brightness as you like. In addition to brightness control, if you scroll down, you have also gamma control. For SDR content, you have BT.1886 and 2.2 values. I recommend that you use this one because then you will have this slider using which you can further tweak brightness of the image. Also, in addition to that, I always recommend that you adjust and check with specific patterns, contrast or white level, and shadow detail or black level. Usually shadow detail is correctly adjusted, and contrast you need to reduce a bit from default values to avoid clipping and pinkish highlights that are by default present in even those most accurate picture modes such as filmmaker or movie mode. Next tip is ensure you're using correct color tone to get the most accurate grayscale and most accurate colors. So go to color tone setting and make sure it is set to warm 2. If you have calibration equipment, you have 2-point or dark and bright region and 20-point settings adjustment. Next tip is related to motion controls. They are adjusted under picture clarity settings, and here you have under custom setting blur reduction, which will increase sharpness in motion, and judder reduction, which will introduce soap opera effect, making movie content more smooth. In addition, we have black frame insertion, which will dim the picture about 50%. We also have clear motion, which is black frame insertion technique, which will reduce brightness of the image, and it's not really improving motion resolution, so I prefer to keep it disabled, but if you like that kind of picture, then engage it. And finally, for noisy content, for highly compressed content, you have noise reduction control, but only one flavor, only automatic value. But usually I also keep it turned off. If you're using game mode and you want motion interpolation, then in this menu, specific game bar menu, you have game mode settings. And here, if you go to game motion plus settings, you see again same controls for blur and judder reduction as well as clear motion. Related to HDR signals, same tips apply, use movie or filmmaker mode. And now I wanted to highlight one specific control for HDR, which is HDR tone mapping, which has two options, static and active. Active brings brighter image, and it's basically different tone mapping technique. So you can try both and see which one works better for you. Unfortunately, you cannot easily toggle because this settings menu remains on the screen. It's not like with contrast enhancer that you can see immediately the difference. Here, maybe we'll need to exit menus and then take a photo or evaluate certain aspects of the picture and then select which works better for you. For me, static is preferred option. Since this is an OLED TV, Samsung has implemented certain controls to reduce the risk of temporal or permanent image retention. You can access those controls by going to All Settings, General and Privacy, and opening Panel Care menu. Here you have Pixel Shift, which moves pixels at regular intervals. Adjust logo brightness, so if there are static logos on the screen, TV will detect them and reduce their brightness. And finally, Pixel Refresh, which is a procedure that will refresh pixels and work on uniformity of the screen. So you can start it immediately or start it after the TV turns off. In case of game mode, tips are as follows. So by long pressing play pause button, you will see game bar. Here under game picture mode, if you select original, you will get the most accurate image without any further adjustments. And then if you select any other mode, let's go with FPS, then you need to go to All Settings menu, Picture Setting, and here adjust in a similar way like filmmaker or movie mode values. Here as you prefer, color tone warm 2, and for of course shadow detail again as you like, and then color space setting, set it to auto, and that's it. You can enjoy gaming on this great screen and see accurate colors. In addition to that, you have more gaming controls by going to All Settings, Connection, Game Mode Settings. Here you will see some options that exist in Game Bar, but also some additional ones. And here as well HDR10 Plus Gaming and Game HDR. Finally, even though it's not officially supported, still I was able to use automatic calibration in Calman 2023 software. This worked well for white balance. However, for color management system, I was not really able to pinpoint, for example, red color because of limitations of available controls. But maybe with further software updates of the TV and official support by Calman, this will improve. And with all this, I'd like to close this video. Thank you very much for watching it. Let me know what you think about it. And I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye!